All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rachakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Title of this lesson is going to be called "The Sooner We Get Out of Here, the Better." Which, if you've been paying attention to Great Millstone videos, you know exactly what we're talking about, man. Okay, because our expectation is to be delivered from this place. Okay. And so, matter of fact, I'll start off with that in First Thessalonians, the 4th chapter. Okay. Let me see here. All right, this is First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16. It says, "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High. And the dead in Mashiach shall rise first," meaning those believers that died in the faith here on this side. They're going to be glorified, okay, and risen, and meeting us in the chariots, meeting those that keep the faith, Lord willing, we endure. They're going to be meeting those men, the elect, in the chariots. Okay, it says, "Then we which are alive and remain," again, those elect members of the nation of Israel, okay, who are still down here on the earth, enduring when they reach the end, okay, which we're approaching. It says, "Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahweh in the air, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord." Okay. Now Yahweh Shai and the angels are going to be in those chariots. Okay. And the elect are going to be gathered together to meet with Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. And so that's our expectation. It says in verse 18, it says, "Wherefore comfort one another with these words." So these scriptures should be comforting us, man. Okay. This is our driving force, if you will. Okay. Now let's go to the scriptures. I had a couple of scriptures here. Matthew 24 and 22, which it says, "Except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved." It's talking about the great tribulation. If you read up verse 21, it says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor shall be." Okay. Now, parts of this chapter is talking about 70 AD, and other parts is talking about Jacob's trouble. All right. Starting at verse 21 and 22. All right. That's talking about the last days of the last days and the times that we're approaching now, when Babylon the great whore gets judged. Okay. And so this man of sin is being revealed, and he's going to come down with great wrath, as it talks about in Revelation 12th chapter. Okay. So it says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be." All right. What scripture does this remind you of? Daniel, the 12th chapter. Okay. Which talks about the same thing. All right. And in verse 22 is the point. It says, "And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." Now, the elect's sake, who was the elect? The remnant of the nation of Israel, like the scriptures say, or the house of David, man. All right. The house of David is going to be preserved, and the rest of these non-believers of our people. Matter of fact, let me get that in Romans 11. All right, Romans 11 and 7. It says, "What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it." Okay. Again, well, let me go ahead and get this word election real quick. That's what it's all about, man. Okay. Election.
Strong's G 1589. Eklage. Eklage.
Eklage. It says the act of, well, actually, let me just go ahead and get the scripture index. Okay. It says the thing or person chosen. Okay. Picked out, chosen by the Most High. The same as eklektos, which is the Strong's word before 1589. So eklektos is picked out, chosen by the Most High to obtain salvation through Yahushai. It says choice, select, the best of its kind or class, excellence or preeminent, applied to certain individual believers in the Messiah. So it says elect, and then it says chosen. Okay, so it makes a discrepancy here between Israel in Romans 11:7. It says, what then? Israel, meaning Israel as a nation, hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the selected, the chosen, hath obtained it. Okay? Those that are selected or chosen out of the nation of Israel. Okay? It's not talking about just, all the nations. No matter what nation that you're from, it's talking about out of the nation of Israel, only certain are chosen or selected. A thing or a person chosen, going back to eklektos, okay, picked out or chosen out of the nation of Israel, okay, chosen to obtain salvation, okay, the best of its kind. Okay, it says here, the best of its kind or class. Okay, so the best of the Israelites have obtained what? The best of the Israelites are the elect. It says, Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Okay, the rest of the nation of Israel were blinded. Okay, but the election hath obtained what? Salvation. Okay, verse 8, it says, according as it is written, the Most High hath given them the spirit of slumber, talking about who? Israel. Okay, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. So the nation of Israel, majority of them do not have the spirit of understanding. They have the spirit. They've been given the spirit of slumber. They're asleep. They can't see what the Most High is making plain to his elect. Okay, those that are chosen, a certain kind. Okay, the best out of the Israelites are going to be selected to be saved. Okay, now going back to Matthew 24, and what was that, 22? It says, except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. For the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So for the best of the Israelites, those days are going to be shortened for their sake, because this man again is going to come down with great wrath upon the Israelites. I'm going to go ahead and get Matthew the 11th chapter, okay, to show you that this man has always, when I say this man, I say Esau, okay, the man of sin being revealed in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, is the Edomite man. Okay, he's the common denominator for wickedness on the planet Earth. Okay, and so it says, Matthew chapter 11 and 12, says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now. Now, these are the words of Yahushua. I don't have it in red, the words of Yahushua in red, but this is Yahushua speaking again. From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. If you go into the history, the Roman Empire was in rulership during the time that the Messiah was alive. Okay, and so the Roman Empire was ruled by Esau. Those Caesars that were in power, Tiberius Caesar to be exact, was in power during the majority, if not the entirety, of the life of Yahushua. He was an Edomite. Okay, and those the area of Judea was under the control of the Roman Empire. Okay, now so it was governed by its own laws to a certain degree. However, they had to answer to basically implants. Okay, Roman generals that were put there and placed there to make sure that the peace was kept, right? And so that's why if you go into the account of Yahushua being crucified, the circumcision had to go to Pontius Pilate in order to get the go-ahead to put him to death. All right, even when Yahushua was taken, he was approached by Roman soldiers. He was beaten by Roman soldiers, and he was crucified by Roman soldiers. Okay, this is all because they were under the nation of, or I should say, the province of the Jews, if you will, or of Judea, was under the jurisdiction of the Roman Empire. Okay, now if you read this again in Matthew 11 and 12, it says, "And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force." Now that violence was being suffered by Israel, which was being suffered by Israel. That violence was afflicted by the Roman Empire. Okay, again, which was Esau. Now the same people that were in power before are the same that are in power now. Okay. All right. Just coming back in the reincarnation. And so, again, when I say those same people, I mean the same nation of people who are Edomites, who are in power during the Roman Empire, are the same people who are in power now during this time that we're in now. Okay. Babylon the Great. All right. And you can read about that in Daniel the 7th chapter. Okay. Matter of fact, let me see this real quick. We're gonna get that little horn in Daniel the 7th chapter. Let me see here. Yeah, there's two little horns, but the little horn in Daniel the 7th chapter is talking about America. So this is Daniel the 7th chapter in the 7th verse, and it says, "And after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue of the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and had 10 horns." Now this is speaking specifically about the Roman Empire, how it was diverse before the other beasts that were before it, because all the other beasts that were before it, which those beasts were representing the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, and also the Grecian Empire. Now, the thing that all three of those empires had in common was that they were ruled by the monarchical system. They all had a king, one individual king at a time, and you had a system that was more similar to how we have now, which was that the Caesars, okay, the rulers were elected by the people in the form of a democracy. Okay, now this is the same concept that's being used today with in America. all right, where you vote for, you know, you vote for a specific individual to rule over you. Okay. Now let me actually no, it's not. It's all good. So this is the point here. It says, and it had 10 horns. Now those 10 horns represent those various different vassal states that were controlled by the beast, that being the Roman Empire. Now here's where it ties into America. Verse 8, it says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. Now this is talking specifically about America. This specific verse here is mentioning none other than America, Babylon the Great. Okay, and it's not far-fetched to think this, because if you consider when Daniel the 7th chapter was written, it was written during the time of the Babylonian Empire transitioning into the Medo-Persian Empire. Okay, because I believe in the closer towards the 9th or 10th chapter in Daniel is when it describes when the Babylonian Empire was being brought down. Okay, so it says, and then it also mentioned, you have to consider, it mentions the Medo-Persian, mentions the Grecian Empire in Daniel the 8th chapter. It speaks about it specifically. So this is all prophetic stuff, man. Okay, just because a lot of these prophecies were fulfilled, okay, doesn't mean that all of them were fulfilled, man. Okay, just because it's speaking about different points in time doesn't mean that it can't be talking about America, even though everything in Daniel the 7th chapter that's basically come to pass on the Lord's timeline has been proven true. Okay, and same thing with all the other prophecies in the scriptures, man. Okay, now it says, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. That's going into the Spanish, the French, and the English. Okay, those England, or the UK, if you will, France and Spain, those 3 countries, if you will, those powers, which are all governed by Esau in the times that we're in now, those fought to maintain portions of control of America. All right, America broke off from that, from that system or control of the European powers. All right, in the 1700s, and so that's how that's the breakdown of that. All right, now it says, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. And so this is the seat of the beast system here. Okay, because the great whore which rideth upon the beast is America. All right, and so when they're in unison and they're in their power like how they are now, but they're falling out of power, they speaking great things. All right. We're going to go up to the moon, and we're going to, inhabit Mars. Okay. We going to take over all of the contiguous United States. We're going to make sure that, we make America great again. All these great things, okay, that America has spoken is coming from, is basically going into that mouth, speaking great things. Now, let's go back to Matthew the 11th chapter in the 12th verse. Okay, it says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. All right. Now, these violent of these times is going also can be applied to the individuals that brought the Southern Kingdom over here through cargo slave ships. Okay, and also the Northern Kingdom. All right, starting with Ephraim and Manasseh and Gad and Reuben and Asher and Zebulun and Issachar and Simeon and so on and so forth, were all afflicted here as well in various different ways. Okay. And so the time of judgment has come, for all the wickedness that this man has perpetuated. And so that's why we say the sooner that we get out of here, the better. Now I'm going to finish off on this scripture here in Philippians. Okay, this world has nothing for us, man. It's pretty much a waste to think that you're going to be able to set up any kind of perpetuity here in America that you're going to be able to taste. All right, taste the fruits of. This place is done. It's a sinking ship, and it's time to abandon it, man. Okay? And the way that we abandon it is by disconnecting ourselves from this place. It's full of disappointments. Heartbreak, confusion. It's not worth it, man. It's not, we're just patiently waiting for the Lord to deliver us from this place, man. Okay? And, we get constant reminders of that daily. Philippians chapter 1, verse 21, it says, "For to me, to live is Mashiach, and to die is gain." So if we live and we're representing Yahushai, and if we die, we good, because we don't have to any longer be in this place. Okay, that's how much we would rather, not be here, man, because it's full of wickedness. We don't like this experience so much to where we would rather just be in the spirit world, and us knowing that Yahushua gonna set up the world in righteousness, we'd rather just do it like that, But this is the Lord's program. So it says, verse 22, "But if I live in the flesh," it says, "If I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor." Us doing the work is the fruit of our labor. Us, being in this flesh, staying alive. We're gonna continue to do the work, Verse 22, it says, "Yet what I shall choose, I wot not." So Paul was saying, look, I don't really know what I would rather have, because, of course, the believers benefit from us teaching, the men of the Lord teaching. But we would rather be with Yahushua because, if you think about it, man, what else profitable is there on this side, man? Nothing. It's all tainted. It's tainted. It's tainted. It's tainted. It's tainted. It's tainted. It's tainted. So, we're kind of like, man, shoot, we'd rather be with the Lord, if we had to pick. However, we have a job to do. Verse 23, "For I am in a strait meaning position of difficulty, as far as deciding which one he would rather prefer." It says, "For I am in a strait betwixt the two, having a desire to depart," meaning having a desire to be with Yahushua, go to the spirit world, right, as it says, and to be with Mashiach, which is far better, which we know. And when you in the spirit world, I'm going to end it off. I know I was going to end it off on this scripture, but I'm going to end it off in Job, the 2nd chapter. Oops. Matter of fact, it's in the 4th verse. Damn, hold on. Maybe not be the 2nd chapter. It's like the 3rd chapter, Job, the 3rd chapter, and the 17th verse. It talks about the spirit world here in verse 17. It says, "There the wicked cease from troubling." Talking about the spirit world. When your body's in the spirit world, you can't do no harm on the earth. It says, "There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest." We are weary, man, of this place. We've grown tired of this place, man. Okay, and for a 25-year-old to have to be able to say that, all right, and which really I was saying it, before then, but even more so now, as experiences increase, you see that there ain't no change in the tide of the direction of this place, man. That specific word that was used here, Strong's H3019, yagayai, which it says tired. It says weary and tired, man. And the root word here is yagai, which is to toil, labor, grow weary, be weary. So when you toil and you labor, you grow weary of this place, man. And so, that's pretty much the lesson, man. I don't want to, continue going on when the point is made. Okay, the sooner that we get out of this captivity, we are going to be in a much better position than we in now. Right now, all we can do is continue to preach and have that expectation of the Lord delivering us. Lord willing, we endure to the end. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, Bashem Chakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.